All right, now let's get into the other type of spaceship, because you guys are doing this artistically, but the New York Times reporting on this government report here says the United States has no explanation for unidentified objects. They won't rule out aliens. They stop short of that. Plenty of theories out there. Beyond the musical way you play with it, do you believe there's life out there?
I really do. I mean, yes, I do. I mean, it seems like, how could it not be? That'd be so egotistical of us to believe out of all these big rocks around the universe.
Yeah.
That this is the only one?
Have you ever seen anything that made you think this?
You know that. I mean, I've told the story, Bootsy and I both. We had an incident in Mississauga, Canada. We weren't on drugs. We did drugs, but that particular time, we just come through the border of Canada. So you can't come through the border. We was really clean, so that was my proof of being clean.
Yeah.
You know.
And what'd you see?
Driving down 401, daylight, broad daylight, like a laser beam, straight to the ground, out of nowhere, daylight, and shit, you know. And so we didn't say nothing. Bootsy and I, we didn't say nothing. He looked at it, and I looked at it, I guess, because by the time we got there, I'm looking around to see what it do. He said, "What was that?" I said, "I don't know." You know, we drove on about another 2 miles. The same thing came down through the trees, hit the ground, and splattered like electricity, like a live wire, on the right side of the street. Then in the next block, on the left side of the street, we saw it, one, two. The third one hit the car we were in. Swear to God, like mercury in a thermometer. It beat it up on the fender, like, and rolled off the side of the car. And Bootsy say, "What should I do?" I said, "Get the hell out of here." The street lights is going off, and it's dark. Now, I didn't pay any attention. The first time I saw this was at daylight.
Yeah.
That was the thing that made you remember it, because it was in daylight. But when it hit the car, it was street lights going off, getting dark right behind us. We didn't remember that 10, 11 years later.
Wow.
When I thought about the fact that it was in daylight, and then I said to myself, why was the street lights going off? I called Bootsy up, this 10 years later. When did we get there? 10 o'clock in the morning. We remember that because we left the studio. I said, well, what was the street lights doing on and going off? He said, man, shut up. You know, because we never really thought about it.
So you know, I got to ask you something.
What's that?
I mean, we just talked about who you've collaborated with. I mean, it's a long list. We're talking about Snoop and Ice Cube and other genres. If there are aliens, would you collaborate on an album with them?
I probably would. I mean, I'm expecting, you know, truthfully, I'm expecting them to start telling us people we know are part aliens. That if you was around...
They're walking around.
No, not only just walking around, that they've been merged together within our DNA for a few years.
Far out. I mean, like you said, you can't rule anything out any more than we're sitting here today. If 2 years ago you started talking about a pandemic that would stop everything and stop working,
you wouldn't believe it.
You said, well, people are still going to go to work. I mean, anything can happen.